Welcome to this course of Vedic or Indian Numerology. As I said before, it would be my suggestion that you go through the Pythagorean numerology and Chaldean numerology and then you come over here, because that explains a lot about what each sort of a number tells you, right? But anyway, in Indian numerology, we have only 3 core numbers, whereas Pythagorean numerology had at least 10 core numbers, and similarly Chaldean numerology had more than 6 to 7 core numbers. Chaldean numerology also comes with lucky numbers and karmic numbers, but we do not have that in our Indian numerology, that is Vedic numerology. So if you want to find lucky numbers in a name or something like that, use Chaldean numerology. If you want to simply use the idea of planets along with numbers, use Vedic numerology. So learn all 3 and use whichever you want to. Practice it on my website. Right. So now there are only 3 different types of core numbers. So we call this as core numbers. Right. One of them is, the first one is a psychic number or the Moolang. You would have heard this a lot on YouTube and Instagram, but in this course you'll understand the real meaning of this and what it's capable of and what you should use it for and what you shouldn't use it for, right? Similarly, there is Bhagyank or the destiny number, and finally there is a Namank or the name number, right? Now, you should not be using numerology to predict events or predict somebody's life. It only helps you identify a pattern. Let's say there are around 20 babies born in every minute in India. Now probably it's around 40. But if you extrapolate that, there are around 50,000 babies born every single day. So assuming that we are only using the date of birth to calculate, then you're saying that a particular number is associated with 50,000 babies. So if you're using it for prediction, it doesn't work, right? Let's say your Moolank is number 9 or number 8. Let's say it's number 9, right? Number 9 has certain qualities. So if you say that 50,000 people who are born on the same day only in India, so it will be around 1 lakh or more in the whole world, they have the same thing, and hence they will go, they'll be doing something, or they will all become the prime ministers of the country. No, it's not possible, right? So numerology should never be used for predictions unless you are extremely intuitive. Let's say you are extremely intuitive and you've seen the numerology of 1,000 clients and you've realized something so important that role is helping you predict the lives of people, then it's okay, right? It has to come through personal experience, but otherwise do not use numerology for a prediction. Always understand patterns, understand behavioral patterns, understand human behavior, human patterns. So as a pattern, I can say if the Moolank of a person is 9, then he's going to be highly energetic like Mars. He's going to be highly humanitarian. He will help a lot of people and such things. So that now, if the same person, if he is born rich to a very rich family, is going to be a bigger humanitarian. If he is going to be born in a poor family, he is going to probably use 10 rupees that he has in his pocket to do some charity, right? Not everybody can be Mahatma Gandhi. There is only one Mahatma Gandhi and there is only one Lal Bahadur Shastri, right? So that's the reason I say please do not use it for prediction. Use it only for identification of a pattern at different levels, right? So there is Moolank, that is calculated from the day of birth. There is a destiny number or the Bhagyank, which comes from the full date of birth, right? This first one is a day of birth. This is the full date of birth, and Namank is from the name vibration, right? And as we discussed before, day of birth or date of birth has an internal vibration. It's unique to me. Other people do not know my date of birth, right? So name number, the name is always external vibration. So other people know my name. So it's always an external vibration. Okay. Now the three core numbers, right, that we just discussed. There's a Moolang, there's a Bhagyang, and there is a Namang. Okay, so let's say you are born on 24th. So if you are born on 24th, then 2 plus 4 is 6. So your Moolang or the psychic number becomes 6. Let's say you are born on 13th, then it is 1 plus 3 is 4. If you are born on the 6th, then your Moolang or the psychic number is going to be 6. Okay, so the calculation is so simple, but then how do you interpret it, right? So we will go through each one of the numbers, and we will also look at the planets, the planet mapping for each number, right? How do you know, or how do you map a number to a certain planet? So that is something that we are going to look at. Then there is Bhagyang. You use the whole birth date to say 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7, 7 plus 1 is 8, 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 plus 1 is 11. So the number is 11 is equal to 1 plus 1, which is 2. So 2 is going to be moon or something closer to that, right? Namang. Namang comes from your name, an external vibration. So like if your name is Arun, then you first convert Arun into digits. So A is 1, and then RUN, you have to check the mapping, and using the mapping you come up with numbers and add them up, and that will come up to a certain number, right? So that is going to be Namang. So we'll learn each and everything one at a time. Okay. Now, first and foremost, we know that we are only going to use 9 numbers, 1 to 9, right? What do we have that we can play around with? Or let's say, if you want to analyze somebody, if somebody has fever and if you want to analyze them, you have their blood, you have their other details that you can check and test. But here, to understand somebody's pattern in numerology, the only thing that is available to you is the date of birth and the name, right? So it's only the date of birth and the name. Other than that, you don't have anything else. So the date of birth and the name is always converted into digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And date is always in digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? All of this, if you add all of these numbers, you will only get numbers between 1 to 9. So you will always play around with digits 1 to 9. Okay. So whatever you do, everything comes back to 1 to 9. And 1 to 9, if you've by any chance gone through my Pythagorean or my Chaldean course, Chaldean Numerology and Pythagorean Numerology course, you will be able to understand why number 1 has a certain meaning and why we are attaching sun to number 1. Okay. So number 1 has a universal meaning. It's always about leadership, confidence, independence, etc. Right? It's always about leadership, confidence, independence. It's about a person who takes initiative, who thinks independently, who prefers leadership roles, who has a strong presence. So all of these qualities, and then when you say we have 9 planets, which one of those planets represents number 1 properly, right? The only planet which can represent number 1 is Surya, the sun, right? So let's say we are doing a movie, and we have 9 different roles, and for those 9 different roles, I have to cast an actor, right? And I have only 9 of these actors: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Rahu, Ketu, Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus, right? So these planets I have. Now, based on the ideal meaning of a universal meaning or a Pythagorean meaning or a Chaldean meaning, it all ends up being the same actually, right? 2 is always something closer to sensitivity, emotions, intuition. Influenced by 2 tend to be gentle and empathetic, senses emotions deeply. So it's all about emotions, it's all about sensitivity and intuition and valuing relationships and imagination. So The only planet that will suit this role is Moon. Right? That's 2. Now, let's do 5, 6, 7, 8 and then come back to 3 and 4. Okay, we did the same thing in Chaldean numerology as well. Okay, I think let's close the chapter here and then we'll start with 5 in the next chapter.